Badr Hari, dude.
Uh,
That guy's always breaking people's legs in nightclubs and knocking people out. He's fucking crazy. He's angry as... Why is he so angry?
What happens when Badr Hari gets angry?
Oh, he's a bad...
Badr Hari's a dangerous guy.
A storm happens, and when it does, no one knows what will happen.
Drop dead.
With nearly a 90% knockout ratio as a heavyweight, this absolutely makes him the scariest fighter of all time. Yes, the man with the highest knockout ratio in all of kickboxing often loses control, and no one can prevent his rage. In fights, he's going to try and hunt for a knockout, and the only way to stop it is to knock him out. If that's not scary, we don't know what is.
He's no quit. He's going out on his shield. He goes to war.
He's just like an animal,
guy.
right? With an animal.
Yeah.
Nothing's soft. Everything's hard.
But even more scary is that he doesn't even care about the rules. He hits his opponents after the bell.
And what you just did, he just went body, hit body. Shot up to the bell.
He kicks a downed opponent during the most important championship match in kickboxing. And this didn't just happen in one championship match. It happened in two. What is even more shocking is that he was dominating this second match. He just doesn't seem to care that these are championship matches that would have cemented his legacy. If Badr would have won these fights, he'd be considered one of the greatest champions of all time. After all, he's already beaten some of the greatest champions in kickboxing history in non-championship matches. Outside of the ring, Badr gets into brawls with his opponents during the press conference. When he explodes, nothing seems to be able to calm him down. Sometimes, Badr is right to be angry, especially after getting unfairly soccer kicked and having the fight ruled a knockout. After this fight, he'd smash everything in his way and go on a rampage in the dressing room. But why does he do any of this? And why is it that Badr Hari can persevere to win time and time again after devastating defeats? Fight fans, welcome back to another episode of Lawrence Kenshin Striking Breakdowns. In this episode, we feature when the bad boy of kickboxing gets angry. In 2006, the fight against Ruslan Karayev was the first time Badr Hari exploded before the fight and after the fight. To understand Badr's rage, it's important to know what happened before this fight. 6 months ago, after talking a lot of smack about how he would dethrone every great heavyweight, Badr was knocked out via a rolling thunder kick in what would be one of the most iconic knockouts of all time. Even more embarrassing, he had gotten into a brawl during the pre-fight conference after kissing his opponent. So going into this fight with Ruslan, Badr had a chip on his shoulder. Prior to the fight, he was taping up his ankle due to an injury. But the officials wouldn't let him, so he started smashing everything.
If you got something to say, you can say it to me.
Just look at how scared the Japanese officials got when Badr got up and started going on a rampage. He even woke up another fighter from a nap.
What I say?
Right before entering the fight, Badr gave his trainer a fist bump, saying that the anger is out of him now. Meanwhile, his opponent was getting ready by hitting walls, and maybe that's why this next crazy incident happened. During the fight, Badr was fighting a technical fight and scoring very well. He was setting up great punches into low kicks, using the classic long jab into the low power kick. During another low kick, however, he lost his balance and faded into the ropes. Then Badr lost his balance against throwing the inside low kick, which seemed like him remembering not to throw from the injured foot. That's when he backs up into the corner and fell down as Ruslan was swinging. None of Ruslan's swings landed as Badr lost his balance and fell. But when Badr fell, that's when Ruslan soccer kicked him right in the face. Badr's face instantly went what the f as he tried to get up. He got counted, which should never have happened. Then to make things much worse, when Badr got up to beat the count, the ref ruled it a knockout. Ruslan started to celebrate like he just won the World Cup, and Badr flew into a rage. Melvin Manhoef and Badr Hari went into the opposing corner and started interrogating Ruslan. Then Badr shouted at the officials saying, "Hey, I won't take this." You can visibly see Badr mad as hell and the look of despair. When the officials wouldn't listen to his complaints, the extreme rage was boiling up. Badr claimed that he would never fight in K1 anymore and that he will retire in kickboxing altogether.
Next! I stop fighting. I tell you now, I stop. I never fight.
Ruslan was claiming he didn't know the problem, calling Badr crazy.
Young, crazy. I'm what? Referee, no, stop. Yeah, fight. What's the problem? I don't know. It's okay, I win.
When he made it into the changing room, every fighter celebrated Ruslan's win as if he'd just beaten a villain. When Badr exited the arena, the Rampage began. The officials tried to hold him, and that's when he started going into a rampage. He pushed them away and started punching the wall. He started smashing the overhead lights and anything in his way. Melvin Manhoef understood his rage, and despite his best efforts to calm his teammates, Badr was trying to hunt the opposing corner down. Badr promised that he would get his revenge one day. He started to cry as the scariest explosive fighter soothed him.
Hey,
But like a true warrior, Badr didn't retire and didn't stop fighting for K1. After 2 wins, he took on Ruslan again. In the rematch, you can tell Badr was extremely focused. During the fight stare down, you could tell that Badr had a stone cold stare and that Ruslan was very nervous. It was a brawl right away, and like deja vu, Ruslan was able to corner Badr once again from an off-balance kick. This time, however, Badr regained balance and fought back. It was an exciting back and forth brawl, and in one moment, Badr missed a high kick and fell to the ground. Ruslan rushed in to attack and looked ready to soccer kick Badr again. Fortunately, this time he didn't and instead tapped Badr on the shoulder. In the second round, Ruslan rushed in for a bunch of leaping left hooks and got Badr over the ropes. He first hooked Badr to the glutes and then almost hit him with the other hand. But in the last second, Ruslan chose to help him up. This is like one of those scenes in a movie where the superhero helps a villain hanging off of a skyscraper. After brawling for 2 epic rounds, the referee checked on Ruslan's nose to see if he's good to continue fighting. You can still see Badr's rage still boiling up as he chilled on the ropes and spat on the ground. However, when the fight started again, it was Ruslan who came out swinging and rocked Badr. But like a true warrior, Badr doesn't quit. He gets up to beat the count and still looked as determined as ever. But what happened next is why Badr Hari is considered a legend. In the first shot that Badr threw after being knocked down, he knocked Ruslan out. It was an absolutely beautiful shot. Ruslan thought he was going to throw another left hook and finish Badr, but when he tried, Badr countered with a perfect cross. He timed it perfectly against Ruslan's looping punch on the inside arc, and there was absolutely no way Ruslan was getting up from it. This is a great lesson: never underestimate someone who has their back against the corner. For someone like Badr, that can actually be when he's at his strongest. After the win, Badr looked like he was in heaven. His team was super happy for him too. Badr even went over to Ruslan to be a good sportsman. Before exiting the ring, Badr replayed the knockout with Melvin Manhoef and let his trainer do the same to him. Overall, it was a very wholesome moment. After he finished playing, he got up and showed the camera the face of a man who redeemed himself against any injustice. 2 years later, Ruslan and Badr would fight for one last time. This time, Badr scored 2 knockdowns in the first round, scoring what was the fastest knockout in the Grand Prix tournament history. This put an end to the Ruslan-Badr trilogy, but it gave the fans moments that we will never forget. You see, Badr is the supervillain of kickboxing, the bad boy that many people love to see get humbled. But at heart, he is also just someone that does not accept injustice, and is willing to sacrifice everything to fight for his legacy. Like Joker, he is lawless, chaotic, and primal. But perhaps he's so loved and hated for his chaos, because we all know that inside of us is a part just like him. What do you think of Badr's rage and how he redeemed himself here? Stay tuned for When Badr Gets Angry Part 2 in just a few days. If you enjoyed this episode, we also have episodes on what happens when Buakaw gets angry, as well as when Saenchai gets angry. I'm Lawrence Kenshin, and thank you for keeping our channel alive.